I'm going to talk about racial profiling. There are people who say that they're racially profiled, and I am a white person, I'm Italian, 100% Italian, and I'm a privileged person. I'm going to tell you that I am a person who frequently has to deal with police, the military checkpoints because of where I live internationally, and airport security. I would fly on 32 planes per year, international travel, 32 flights. I get stopped at checkpoints all the time. One day, I was stopped 3 times by airport checkpoints, twice in the same airport. They skipped everybody else. They opened my bag. They went through everything. They said I was okay. They put a tag on it saying that my bag had been checked by airport security. I went to my gate, and my bag got to the gate before I did. And this was not my carry-on. This was my check-on luggage. And someone came up to me. There were 2 bags there, mine and one other. And someone came up to me and said, "Is that your bag?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "We got to check it." And he took it and he opened it up. He went through everything, said everything's okay. We're going to put it on the plane. Don't worry about it. Got to the United States. Walking, I have to get to another plane. Everybody has to get to another plane because it's international transfer. There's a man standing there pointing in one direction for people to go one way, another direction for people to go the other way. I see all sorts of people heading towards the exit. When I get there, he points that I have to go the other way, and I have to get my bags checked. And they were very mean to me. They took their time. He took like 15 minutes to go through my stuff. He took his sweet time, even though, I said to him, I have a flight. It's a 1-hour layover. I have to go. It's international. I have to have my bags rescanned. You're manually checking it. You're taking a long time. This guy said he could give an F about it. That's what he didn't use those words, but he said he didn't care. And so that was the worst day, being checked 3 times. And like I said, they've been really mean to me. This one guy told me, "Don't put your hands in your pockets." And he didn't say it, "Oh, don't put your hands in your pockets." He said, "Don't put your hands in your pockets." He was really mean about it. And I leaned against the handrail that was inches behind me, and he said, "Don't lean against the handrail. Put your hands where I can see them." It was a white guy. He was really, really mean to me. And there was another time, the man was black, and he was a big guy. He was a really big guy. And he's going through all of my stuff. Oh, the white guy also complained that I had bags of calcium. Made a big deal like I was importing cocaine or something like it. It was calcium. Why do I have so many? It was like 15 of them. Because I didn't use them all on my trip. That's the reason why. What do you want me to do? I'm going to save them for another time. I mean, come on. It's hot down there. When you lose water from sweating, you need calcium. Otherwise, you get muscle cramps. So with the other guy, the black guy, I remember him meticulously going through every nook and cranny and through the seams, and he could touch and feel there was nothing there, but he still had to unzip and look between the plastic and the material and all that stuff. And he yelled at me. He said, because of what was in my pocket. He said, "What's that in your pocket?" I said, "It's my wallet." Come on, you know what a wallet is. This is a wallet. It's in my pocket. It looks like a wallet in my pocket. He's talking to me like I got a stack of drugs in my pocket or something. And he didn't say, "Oh, could you show me what's in your pocket?" He didn't say that. He said, "What's in your pocket?" He was really mean to me about that. It was another time when I was going to South America. And again, it's like 32 flights a year. And it was summertime. And I was packing all my luggage. I was in a hurry. I was about to leave for the airport. And I said, "Oh, I better bring my winter coat in case it gets cold. In case I go to Bogota or Lima, it's cold." And I opened the luggage, put the coat in. The coat's like this thick. I mean, it was a trench coat of I don't know what you call it, a wool trench coat. It was heavy material, and there's absolutely no way this would fit in the luggage. My luggage was packed to the brim. Nothing else was going to go in there, and this was as thick as the part of the luggage that stuck out already. So I said, okay, I'm going to wear it. And I went to the airport, and the woman said, you must be going somewhere cold. I said, no, actually, it's hot where I'm going. My jacket just didn't fit in the luggage. Sit over there. And then I had to go, and they took out like some sort of a stick, and they swabbed my jacket, and they took the stick, and they passed it all around the body, and then they said I had to take off my jacket, and they were swabbing my skin and all this stuff. And I was like, are you literally crazy? I mean, you don't believe that it doesn't fit in my luggage, this big trench coat? I mean, come on. And I've been stopped many times. I lived in Medellin, and I owned a motorcycle. You wear a helmet with a motorcycle. There's no way that the police know your ethnicity when you're riding the motorcycle, especially at night. I'm often coming home at night. And because of where I lived right outside the checkpoint. It was not, if you looked at where I live, you would say, oh, this is kind of like outside the city. But the city was like a short drive. And I was up in a high building, so you get to view the city. And there's only one road to get there. You got to go through the checkpoint. So I got stopped all the time. And I would get off, and they would ask me for my ID, and they would stare at my ID for a long time. And they would give it back to me. And sometimes they would say, you know, why is it expired? And I have to say, because your country is incompetent, and you can't give me the new ID on time, and you give me this piece of paper that says come back 6 months for your ID, you know? Yeah, you know, of course I didn't say that. But I get stopped all the time. And there was another time, I remember I was riding my motorcycle, and some police on motorcycles showed up, surrounded me, told me to get off the bike, said, take off your helmet. I took off the helmet. They said, okay, goodbye. And then they left. And then there was another time when, because they're obviously looking for somebody, and I didn't match the description of who they were looking for. There was another time I was in Mexico riding my motorcycle, and I got stopped by Border Patrol. And, you know, the guys, I didn't speak Spanish at the time. He asked me to take off my helmet, and maybe he asked me for my ID. And I know I pointed to my license plate, which was a New York plate, because I had ridden from New York to Mexico. And I'm pretty sure I said the word vacation to him. And because I'm Italian, I would understand if someone says, ¿Por qué estás aquí? You know, I'm going to understand that. You know, my parents spoke Italian. So I was like, vacation. In Spanish, it's vacaciones, right? The same day, I was stopped again by Border Patrol in the United States. So I got stopped by the U.S. Border Patrol, and they're like, what are you doing, all this stuff? I said, I'm just riding my motorcycle around the country. I went to Mexico today. Didn't like riding around. He's probably heard the story before because the roads are horrible. You cannot ride a motorcycle on those roads because of the constant up and down bumpiness. And the GPS was not accurate. In many foreign countries, you have to go through a checkpoint to get into a shopping mall. And you have to take off your hat and your glasses when you walk into a store. Who knows? I'm not sure why. But you go into the store and say, take your hat off. And I'm like, it's okay. You got to walk around with your hat. I don't know why they do that. Maybe because of the security camera, they want a clear picture, or maybe they think you're hiding something under your hat. But the fact of the matter is that I've been a person, there was once a woman that approached me. She worked for Drug Enforcement Agency, and she said she wanted to put drugs in my backpack. And she said, just a test, you know, and I said to her, absolutely not. I'm a person, I know I wasn't rude. I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm a person who has bad luck. I get stopped all the time. I don't want anything that's going to risk anything. Nothing good ever happens to me. You know what I mean? So that was a situation that I remember that it just happened to be funny. And the other kid actually did it. There was another kid. He said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And she put the drugs in his backpack, and the dog had to sniff it out. Dog had to sniff it out. So the point I was making is that racial profiling is not unique to someone who is a minority. I get profiled all the time. I'm always being asked to stop a disproportionate number of times. In Medellin, you get your bags, you go through the security when you're leaving the country through a scanner. When you return to the country, a person decides if you're going to get your bags examined, where they open it and search through, and I was always getting checked. And I remember them complaining that I had 2 laptops. They always think, well, if you got 2 laptops, you're going to sell one of them. And I had to argue with them. I said, no, that one is personal and one is for business. And I explained to them, one is a Windows operating system. The other one is Linux operating system. They have different operating systems, different software. And I had to print out a document in Spanish that explained all of this. And I had to put my name and address on the computers. I wrote it with marker, and I kept the receipts. I looked for all the receipts for my equipment, and I showed I've owned this computer for 4 years, and I bought it in the United States. It's my personal computer, and luckily I didn't have any problems where they took my equipment away. But I was always being stopped and interrogated when a person made the decision as to whether or not I would be the person chosen. They don't stop large groups of people. They're not going to stop an old lady. They're going to stop a guy like me. I fit the profile of someone they're going to stop. And I know the reason why. It's probably because I walk fast. It's just my habit. I like to walk fast. They have some systems where you hit a button, and if you hit the button, it randomly selects people. I don't get selected. Nobody does. You see hundreds of people going through who don't get the random check, and you see 2-3 people getting the random check, and I was getting it too many times. And when they were doing it, when somebody was picking, I look over and I see them staring back at me, and I said, well, guess what? I'm not walking over there. And what I would do is I would just pretend I didn't have my luggage, and I would wait for a lot of people to pick up their luggage, and when they started to go through, I mingled into the group with another group of people so that I would not walk fast, and I tried to hope that, well, if I want to pick somebody, he's hopefully going to pick the first person in line, or maybe the last person in line. So I tried to fit in, and I was not being selected anymore. I also felt, when I was younger that this happened. And I can't think of any instances specifically, but that's my experience. I get profiled all the time, and especially in the airports. I believe more than other people do. Basically, it's easy to do because you count. You see that there's hundreds of people, and they only stop 2 or 3, and I'm just getting stopped all the time. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, please post below.